Welcome to the Metaverse. That's right, if you're seeing this video with me wearing my ski goggles, then you might be feeling, like many people, a little confused about what is the Metaverse. And hang on, let me take off these goggles. All right, there we go. You might be a little confused about what is the Metaverse, and maybe you're feeling like you're a little too old to learn, but I'm here to break it down for you. I'm gonna explain what it is and even get into, towards the end, how you might be able to invest. So stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss this. So you heard right, me and my pair of silly ski goggles are gonna break down what is the Metaverse and hopefully make you feel like you understand it and you can explain it to, your grandma, your mom, or basically anybody who is saying, I feel a little too old for all of that. Now, if you like videos like this, you can consider joining our private Discord, and please don't forget to also drop a like and help support me. I really appreciate it. Okay, the Metaverse. I want you to think back and picture the original handheld Game Boy. A lot of kids still have DS's right now. But back in the mid-90s, there was a Virtual Boy, and not many people remember this. I'll flash a picture of it on the screen. And as you can see here, this is a VR headset that is connected to a Game Boy, and it was critically panned. It's like Nintendo's worst selling console ever. But it was the start of virtual reality for video games. Now, flash forward 25, close to 30 years now, and we haven't made that much progress in terms of the worlds of virtual reality. However, we do have a couple new headsets. Some of you might be familiar with the Samsung one that came out not too long ago. And of course, Facebook, Meta has their Oculus headsets that were extremely popular within the past year. So simply put, the Metaverse is a combination of virtual reality, augmented reality, like that Pokemon Go game that people were playing on their phone a few years ago. And of course, blockchain and social media. Now, before I lose any of you there, a couple of fictional examples of what this Metaverse might look like. And trust me, it does not look like this yet. We'll kind of go in reverse chronological order. We got the Ready Player One. If you read those books or saw that movie, that's the Metaverse. Going even further back, we got the Matrix, kind of that world where you're going to be hooked in to that virtual reality. And then, of course, one of the originals, those Tron movies that people, either love or hate, but hey, they were one of the first ones out there. So now that you have a reference point about some fictional examples that can answer what is the Metaverse, and by the way, again, they look nothing like that in its current form, I wanted to give you 3 different examples of basically different types of companies that are competing to create this video game-like world where not only can we socialize, maybe do business and exercise, but we could also essentially live a majority of our lives. So number 1, the first company I want to talk about is Facebook, who's now changed their name to Meta. Now, the reason I wanted to start with Facebook is because it can be that bridge between people knowing the app and the website and them now changing their name to Meta. And I'm going to tell you what they have planned for the future. Mark Zuckerberg has recently announced that over the next 10 years, Meta, the Facebook company, is going to commit billions of dollars into research and development to develop this virtual reality, augmented reality, this social platform that people can interact with one another within, also do business. And they have a huge financial incentive to develop this Metaverse because then they can be the gatekeepers. In fact, I already mentioned that Oculus headset that many people, got as a holiday gift. So one reporter with the Wall Street Journal, I'm going to flash a clip on the screen in 1 second. She actually spent 24 hours inside, Facebook's Metaverse in its current state. And let's take a look at kind of what it looks like. So as soon as you put on the headset, one of the most common games, and there are many games that people can play, is this Beat Saber game. As you can see, you're holding these little sensors, you have the headset on, and you're moving around, you're trying to slice these cubes up. Now, to some of you, that might seem silly, and I can kind of agree, but in some ways, it's exercise. Maybe it's like too cold outside. Maybe people are locked inside for a quarantine or a pandemic, or maybe it's just too hot to go outside. So there are some like arguments like, oh, this is going to be pretty cool one day. But I can tell you, it's not all fun and games. There is a need for like a virtual representation of yourself in the metaverse, and those are called avatars. So take a look here. You can see that this reporter, depending on the space she was interacting in while using the Oculus headset, she actually needed to have different types of avatars, whether it's like a little floating head and body with no legs, maybe more of like a physical representation of herself, but again, kind of just like someone copy and pasted like her head on a fake body. And even like that sort of like Bitmoji where you can kind of like pick the way you look, and all of these exist within this Facebook metaverse right now. And the reason for the different avatars is the different types of activities you're going to be doing there. Now stick with me here, because it's been reported that Mark Zuckerberg is already having people have meetings within the metaverse for Facebook. And literally you're going to be sitting there, maybe it's in a hotel room, maybe it's, you know, in your garage, your office at home. You throw on the headset, and then let's take a look. As you can see, you're in like essentially a workroom, sitting around a virtual desk, talking to other coworkers and having business meetings. So when I said before, you know, it's not all fun and games, they are looking to create like basically like a new economy, a way of interacting, again, all digitally. Now let's move on to my second example of what could be considered like the metaverse right now. And I want to point out a company like Microsoft. You see, Microsoft just invested billions, I'm talking billions of dollars, to purchase the video game company Activision. Now, Activision is responsible for such video games as Call of Duty, and needless to say that these types of video games have been around for a while. But if you went to like a middle school student and asked them about the metaverse, they might even be a little scared. But if you ask them about Fortnite, you ask them about like Roblox, if you ask them about Call of Duty, they're familiar with these types of like worlds, and they already are participating within them. As you can see here, Call of Duty is that like first-person shooter game, and you can play with your friends, you can go on missions, you can collect, you know, different types of items, and become like a really, really good like warrior, for lack of a better description, within this virtual world. Moving on to Fortnite, they have all these license deals with different types of intellectual property and other types of businesses. So right now you can be Spider-Man going around Fortnite and in a battle royale, maybe taking on Thanos, Giant Elmo, Big Bird. I mean, it is what you would picture a metaverse to be, and I would say Fortnite is probably as close to it as possible right now. And it's not just Microsoft like getting into this game, maybe trying to compete with Facebook Meta. Walmart is sort of quietly getting into the metaverse space. They've recently applied for many different types of trademarks within the past few months. And they're even applying for their own virtual currency known as Walmart Apollo. So thinking of video games as a metaverse within themselves, they have existed for a while, and you can socialize, have some fun, you know, make purchases within them. But I wanted to move on to my third example, and it's probably one that you're going to be hearing more and more about in the news, and that would be cryptocurrencies and virtual real estate. Now, even if you are not familiar with terms like blockchain, Ethereum, what I'm going to tell you right now is there are essentially websites that you can go to that exist on a public, you know, record that anybody can access, so everybody can see what you're doing. And let's think of it like video games, but public video games. Anybody could play, but you have to sort of pay to play. And there are two that I want to mention. They are Decentraland and Sandbox. Now, both of these are supposed to be decentralized blockchain software, video games, if you want to think of it like that, that are built on top of the Ethereum network. Now, Ethereum is known as the second most popular cryptocurrency. It wasn't supposed to even be like a currency, but it was supposed to be a platform for other types of apps to be built upon. And now we're talking about two apps that are considered metaverse apps. Each has their own cryptocurrency within them. So one way that you could participate or invest is going to be to buy those cryptocurrencies. For Decentraland, they have one called Mana. And for the Sandbox, they have one called Sand. So let's take a look at both. This is what Decentraland looks like right now. Again, you're one of those avatar style creatures. You're able to walk around this metaverse. And some people, companies even, have purchased different plots of land. You can purchase plots of land in addition to the cryptocurrency as well. Now, let's take a look at Sandbox and what that looks like in its current state. As you can see here, it's a little bit more of that like pixelated style, like avatars and designs. And again, you're walking around a virtual world that either other companies have built, different types of plots of land on, or maybe you own one and other people are running different types of businesses or video games or challenges within. And now let's all take a collective deep breath, because we have just done a deep dive on the metaverse. And I want to give you a few key takeaways. One of the easiest ways to describe what it is to talk about those virtual reality headsets and bring up Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, by changing the name of the company to Meta and purchasing a virtual reality company like Oculus, is trying to kind of become the biggest player in that metaverse space. And he wants people to conduct business meetings, exercise, and even socialize, go to a comedy club, if you will, all within this virtual augmented reality space. However, he's not the first person to try this. We've had online style video games like Call of Duty, Roblox. We even have Fortnite that a lot of kids are going to be familiar with. You can take your money, you can buy different skins, and in a lot of ways, those are the metaverse that you and I would think of, except we're not, jacked in, and if we shake somebody's hand, we can't really feel it there, nor can we feel it with Facebook's version. And then, of course, the blockchain, cryptocurrency, Ethereum-based real estate, virtual real estate metaverses that really are in a state of infancy, if you will, have been in the news a lot lately, and people are really curious, almost have that fear of missing out, that FOMO, because they think they might be able to buy a plot of land or get in early and then hopefully sell it for a profit. So needless to say that if you're looking to invest, and this is not investment advice, you could buy a little bit of stock in any one of these companies, or, dabble in the cryptocurrency. I have a whole list of cryptocurrency videos. If you're interested in them, they're all educational, kind of like take like a very grounded approach to kind of what it is and how you can learn more about it. So what do you think? Leave me a comment down below on which project you think might ultimately come out on top or be the most successful. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.